First Vav Hiphil. We've looked at the first Vav Nifal. Now let's look at the first Vav Hiphil. And what do we see? Well, we see that we have the Vav everywhere, just like we did in the Nifal. The Kal, we didn't have it anywhere. We didn't see the Vav for first Vavs. The Nifal, we saw it everywhere, and the Hiphil, we also see it everywhere. Now, one thing we noted with the Nifal is that in the perfect and in the participle, of course, with Nifal, we have passive participle. In the perfect and participle, for the Nifal, it was a vowel. The Vav was a vowel, O, and in the other forms, it was a full consonant. It was a Vav with a dagesh in it. That was our Nifal Nun that got assimilated. In the Hiphil, we have a Holam Vav, so a vowel everywhere, even here. So the Vav shows up as a vowel in all the forms in the Hiphil. Okay? In the Nifal, it's only in the perfect and the passive participle where it shows up as a vowel. Okay, so original Vav is retained in like the Nifal in all forms, unlike the Kal where it doesn't show up anywhere. The original Vav is a vowel in all forms, unlike the Nifal where it's only a vowel in the perfect and the participle. Otherwise, it's regular. Now, this I think is a bit of a fudge. We say that the Hiphil pattern is still present, A class prefix vowel plus I class theme vowel, but we can only say that because we have defined Holam Vav, as coming from a patach and therefore calling it an A vowel. But I have to say, Holam Vav doesn't look like an A vowel to me. And when you're reading, are you going to remember that historically this came from a A class vowel? I kind of doubt it. So what do you do? We've effectively lost the first part of this, the A class part. We have the IE class part, but the A class part is lost, at least for all practical purposes. So the way I would look at this is this. At least here, in the imperfect, you have the Hidik. The Hidik really does stand out when you're reading. At least I find it does. And you've got a lot of Hidik in a lot of these forms. So that'll carry you. Here you have a Tzere. It's not Hidik, but at least it's an IE vowel. And if you look over there and you see a Vav, you say, okay, we have a first Vav with an IE vowel, so it's probably Hiphil. Here it's reduced, but that's not odd. We've seen reduction before. And here it's reduced as well. Reduced to two different things, interestingly enough. Hidik Yud goes to a segol there, and it goes to a tzere here. In these forms, you have your Hidik Yud, so that's good. When you get down here, you have the second person switch. Remember that? The Hiphil has a second person switch. The forms with consonantal suffixes have a different theme vowel. It's a patach. So now you've lost your A class prefix vowel, or at least in terms of reading you have, and you've lost your I class theme vowel. So what do you have for a Hiphil? Well, at least you've got the hey. Here you have the I class sticking out from most of it. Here you've lost the I class, but you have the hey. So rely on the hey in these forms here. These forms you have both the hey and you have the I class, either tzere or Hidik Yud. So you're doing pretty well there. So it's a little bit more difficult to recognize perhaps because of the big Holam Vav. But at least you see the Holam Vav, you know you've got a first Vav. Sometimes the Holam Vav can be written defectively as just a Holam. So instead of a Holam Vav, you'll just have Holam. So be aware of that. Here I'm comparing the perfect and the strong and the first Vav. So Hifkid becomes Yoshiv. So at least you have the E part. That's similar. You get down here, Hifkadta, Hoshavta. So you've lost both of them, but at least you have the hey. So in the perfect, rely more on the hey. In the imperfect, Yofkid, Yoshiv. Okay, you still got the Hidik Yud, and most of them you got the Hidik Yud, even with the vocalic suffixes, because Hidik Yud will not reduce. You can't reduce a mater, or at least not easily. Tafkidi, Toshivi. So at least you got the hiddick yud. And the hiddick yud really does stand out when you're reading. So rely on that for the imperfect. Is that it? Okay, yeah. So again, first vavs in the Hiphil. You see the vav everywhere, and it's a vowel everywhere. Look for the hey, and look for the I class theme vowel.